We are going to roll out IPAM to the enterprise, so we need a few servers. But before we get started, let's make sure that our servers, we create snapshots. So just highlight the server that you want in VirtualBox, click on the snapshots button at the top, and then right click, and then you can choose to take a snapshot. So this will bring up a box where you can name it if you want. Click OK. And after a few seconds, you'll have another snapshot, which we can go back to in case we have any problems. All right, so we need 3 servers. We need our router 01, we need our support server, and we need DC01. All right, let's go ahead and log in to DC01 and minimize VirtualBox. All right, we are now logging in, and we'll do that with all 3 of our servers. All right, let's start by getting into Active Directory users and computers, and we're going to create a new IPAM server group. So let's open up Active Directory users and computers. And in our users container, we're going to right click, and we're going to choose New Group. And it's going to be a global group, and it's going to be a security group, and the name is going to be IPAM Servers Global Group. Click OK. Now let's go ahead and double click on that group, and we can see, since it's a brand new group, it doesn't have any members. It's not a member of anything, so we'll just go ahead and cancel that for now. So now what we're going to do is we're going to create a new server organizational unit under the IPAM Managed Users group. So let's go ahead and do that after we add in our support server. Support server should already be a member of the domain. If it's not, you can do that at this time. All right, so go over to Objects and make sure you check Computers, otherwise it can't find it. And then click OK, and it found it now. Looks good. All right, now we've got our servers OU, and we're going to create a new OU underneath it. So just right-click on there and choose New Organizational Unit, and we're going to call it IPAM Managed Servers OU. And you can leave this checked if you want. It's up to you. All right, now that's in the right place. Now let's go over to our router 01, and we're going to open up Computer Management. So click on All Servers, and right-click on router 01, choose Computer Management. There's a couple other ways to get there as well, but that was the easiest one at this point. All right, inside Computer Management, we want to go to the local users and groups. Groups. Double-click administrators, I should say. All right, and note that the administrator is in that group itself. We also have a couple other former group names or usernames that we can just go ahead and remove, because all it shows is their GUID information, so that's not going to do any good. All right, so we'll click OK to that. Now we'll go back to DC01, and we're going to go to Tools and then Group Policy Management. So Tools, Group Policy Management. And we're going to expand the forest down to the domains, down to our widget llc.internal, and then our servers OU, which we just went in and made a change to in Active Directory users and computers. So here is our domain, widget llc. And then we're going to go to IPAM Managed Users. There we go. Servers OU, and there we see it. Now we're going to right click and choose create a group policy object in this domain and link it here. And we're going to call it local administrators group membership. Local administrators group membership. All right. Click OK. Said that we had already created it, but that's okay. I just deleted it and then went ahead and created it. All right. So now we want to make some changes to that. We want to expand the IPAM Managed Servers OU. And we're going to right-click on the new group policy we just created and choose to edit. All right, so you have two different types of configuration, computer and user. So if you make a change to computer, it means that any computer that is a member is going to be affected by the change you make. And if it's a user, it's only the users that are affected. Or if you change both, then it's both computers and users that are in this particular OU. So we're going to expand the computer one. And we'll just go ahead. There we go. And after you open up computer, then we're going to go to Preferences, Control Panel Settings. Control Panel Settings, there we are. So let's go ahead and create a new local group. And we'll leave the action set to update. Hit the drop-down list and choose the administrators built in. Now we'll click under Members, we'll click Add, and we're going to add that new group that we just created. And just go ahead and type in IPAM and just hit check name, and there is our IPAM servers GG group. So go ahead and click OK, apply. All right, now let's go back to our Active Directory and our IPAM servers GG group and make sure that router 01 is still in there. It is router 01. All right, so now we know that when we run the GP update that it's going to affect router 01 because that is in that group, and that group is in that organizational unit, which we just edited the group policy. So it's all one big domino effect. So let's make sure that this works. So let's go ahead and do a GP update /force to force the update of the new group policy. And it says it completed successfully. Very good. Sometimes this takes a little while, sometimes not. Now we want to see the results. So GP results, no S, /R. All right, so you got a lot of stuff in here. So we're going to go under computer. See here it says user. We don't want that. We want under computer. All right, let's go ahead and create a new local group. Right-click, choose new local group. Make sure under actions it says update, and the group name, we're going to hit the drop down, and we are going to choose administrators built in. Now let's go to where it says members and click add, and click the little button off there, and we're going to type in IPAM, and we're going to select the new group we just created a little while ago. Click OK, apply, and we're good. All right, so the IPAM group is going to be affected by this change. Now let's go ahead and go back to where it says IPAM Managed Servers OU. We want to make sure that router 01 is inside this group. So by default, it's going to be created under computers or some other location. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Just hit a little refresh there. Now we can right-click and we can choose Move, or we can just drag and drop right into the OU, which is the easiest. There we go. Click on that. There's router 01. So now when we do an update on router 01, it should have that new group policy affecting it. So let's do a GP update /force. And it says it was successful, so now we're going to do a GP result /R. So let's wait until that's done. There we go. GP result, no S, /R. And make sure on all these computers you're logged in as widget LLC /administrator. Otherwise, none of this is going to work right. All right, let's take a look and see what our results are. You're going to get a whole page of information, and just ignore where it says user. Scroll up to where it says computer. All right, with GP results, so you want to make sure that you see under applied group policy objects, you see the local administrators group membership, which is the one we had just created. So we are good to go there. Now we want to go into the firewall, make sure it's turned off. For our next segment here. Click OK. All right, everything's off. So now we want to restart the IPAM or restart router 01 and see if it shows up in the IPAM server as we hope it will. So let's go ahead and choose power and restart. And now let's restart the support server as well. While all these are restarting, just make sure a couple things. One, DCO1 is up and running, and on all three servers you are logged in as widget LLC /administrator. All right, let's go ahead and log back into support server. And when Server Manager opens up, we're going to take a look under IPAM Server Inventory. All right, let's go ahead and we're going to choose number 5, select or add servers to manage. Click on Tasks, Add Server, and the server name. Make sure it's the full widget LLC internal and sees the IP address, so that's good. We're going to check the DNS server, and then we're going to click OK. Oh, one additional thing before we click OK, just go ahead and choose Managed, and then click OK. Now we're going to right click, and we're going to choose Refresh Server Access Status. And if you want, you can look at the details here. All right, and we'll go ahead and close that. Now we got to go back to router 01, do a couple more things. Same thing we did last time, GP update /force. So we can update the changes we just made on the IPAM server. And then we'll do GP result. All right, GP result /r. And now we can see under Apply Group Policy Objects, the IPAM DNS object did apply. So that's exactly what we wanted to see. Let's go back to our support server. And we will right click on our new IPAM server of router 01. And we'll click on Retrieve All Server Data. Now you may not get the result that you want right away, but if you wait a little bit like you did in Lab 3, then eventually this will show up as unblocked and green. Go ahead and click on the More button so you can see what's happening. And then we'll go back and we'll just wait a little bit. And we're going to go ahead and restart the support server to see if we can make this happen a little faster. But as we knew from previous experience, it can take up to an hour before it'll show up as unblocked. And after the reboot, we see that our IPAM access is unblocked and we are good to go. So don't worry about the DCO1 because the firewall got turned back on that one. But this is the one that we're concerned about. We wanted to make sure that we had with a green light. So now we can get on to the next step. Let's go back to our DCO1. And let's go back to Group Policy Management. And we're going to make another Group Policy object in the exact same location, and this time we're going to call it the IPAM Firewall Settings. So let's right click on IPAM and choose create a group policy object and link it here. And let's call it IPAM Firewall Settings. And now we're going to right click and edit it. Okay, we're going to go to similar place where we were before. Computer, preferences, actually policies. There we go. And then we're going to go to Windows settings, security settings. And security settings. There we go. And then we're going to go to Windows Firewall with advanced security. All right, we're going to click the Windows Firewall property. So after we expand the firewall with advanced securities, click the down arrow, then you'll see the firewall with advanced security. Just right click on that and choose properties. All right, we're going to set the firewall state to on, recommended. Inbound connections to block default, inbound connections, block default, and outbound connections, allow default. For the domain, the private, and the public, as that was the domain one. So now we'll go to the private. Do the exact same thing. And now the public. And now we'll click OK. Now we'll click the inbound rules. And we're going to choose new rule. And we're going to choose predefined. And choose DNS service. All right, now we'll click next. And we've got a few more things we want to change here. We want to uncheck the DNS, UDP, and TCP and leave the top and the bottom ones connected. We'll then click next. Make sure that allow the connection is there, and we'll go ahead and click finish. Very good. All right, let's go ahead and create another rule. And this time we're going to choose predefined. And we're going to choose remote service management. This will allow us to remotely manage the computers that are in this group. Click next. And we just want to uncheck this middle one, but the rest you can, RPC you can keep checked. Choose next, verify that allow the connection is checked, and it is. Click finish. All right, so we've created a couple of rules. Now let's go ahead and create another one. New rule. And we're going to choose predefined again, and remote event log management, so we can remotely manage the logs. All right, we will uncheck just the middle one again, so we just have RPC turned on. And then we'll choose next and make sure allow the connection and finish. All right, now we can go ahead and close group management. And now we can go back to router 01 again. And we can do our GP update trick we did earlier. So we're going to update because this will affect this computer because it was in that same OU. All right, it says it was successful, so that's good. Now let's go ahead and do the results again. All right, so if you run the GP result and it says that the IPAM firewall setting did not get applied, it probably means that the inbound rules you just created didn't automatically save like they should have. So you can go back in to group policy, right-click on the firewall settings, go back to policies, and then just do the same thing over again. And then when you're done, there's no save option. Just close it and close it again, and then run the group policy again, and then it should show up. So this does occasionally happen, and it happened to me. So I just went ahead and checked and noticed all the rules were gone that we just created. So the second time around, I went and closed it, and this time it saved. And we can see that it applied the IPAM firewall settings. So now we are in good shape. All right, let's go back to our support server and just make sure that our IPAM still works now that our firewall is turned on, but we did make those special inbound rules. So if we right-click and we choose Refresh Server Access Status, then we can see this little bar go across, and when it's done moving, we should still see that our IPAM server on router 01 is still unblocked if we did it correctly. And it's all done running, and it's still unblocked. So we did it well. So this sets us up for our next lab where we will continue on. So everything has to work in this lab in order for the next lab to work properly.